Hello, everyone. I am Psychic Medium Jamie. You are watching Eye of Soul Radio. And yes, Spirit Walker Nicole, if you are watching, I just clap my hands to kick off my own show. You can't do anything about it because you're not here. Anywho, you guys, I have so much fun doing Eye of Soul Radio, and I love doing different topics, as you guys have seen from across the board, all the different things that I like to discuss. And last night, after the Fierce Four show with Shades of Spirit and Psychic Artist Ashley and LaShawn the Luminous Mystic, we were kind of game planning the next few shows that we're going to be doing into May. And I thought all of a sudden, I want to do cards. I want to talk about Oracle cards. It's something that I haven't done before. And I've pulled cards for you guys, but I've never kind of explained my process of it. And so, in doing so, what makes it really cool is that now I can kind of explain different ways that I pull Oracle cards and why I do it. And do I do it for myself? Absolutely. So hang in there with me because I'm also going to do some reading. So you guys can definitely put out in the notes like you normally do. And Jacob throws it up in the chat box for me. I can pull a 1-card pull for you as well. But I want you guys to be empowered to do it yourself. And it's funny because people are like, you're going to teach people to do what you do when they do it. And I'm like, because I can give you the broad, the future perspective, kind of work through the past energy. And yet what needs to happen is we need to be in connection with our spirit team. And I say need from my own perspective and what I need to do every day in order to get that little bits and pieces of guidance, right? So first and foremost, oracle cards, pendulums, they're divining tools. This is a divination tool for connecting with outside sources from the physical world. Okay. From my perspective, it is no different using an oracle card from a pendulum, from talking to spirit, using my psychic abilities, connecting on a mediumship level, to even using a Ouija board. And I know some of you are like, oh, but you've heard us talk about this on other shows. If you've done in-person classes with us before the whole pandemic, you were taught how to use a Ouija board safely, or Ouija board, however you want to say it. And so, yes, I do feel that this is all one big tool. And in doing so, we need to do it with a space of love and light for our highest and best. So that's the first and foremost thing that I like to connect with. I am doing this when I sit down for myself or my clients, that I'm doing it in a space of love and light for my highest and best. I call in my spirit team. You guys can call in your spirit team. You do not need to know who they are. Now remember that. You don't need to remember who everyone on your spirit team is. Yes, you have yes, you have angels. Yes, you have spirit guides. The angelic realm can also influence our cards, as you can see up here. And it's a little blurry, but that's not even a quarter of the angel cards we have. Well, duh, we've got Spirit Walker Nicole, who talks to angels in your spirit team on a regular basis. So we would have a lot of cards, but our angels can help influence that. Our spirit guides are human. They can come in to help us as well. They also all know what our blueprint is. How important is that to connect with that? What are you here to do? What are you here to see, achieve, connect with, right? And it's going to help give us that guidance. So that's why I like being able to teach you how to do this for like a daily check-in, if you will. So it's also making sure that you take responsibility for yourself and when you use these tools. And that's the big disclaimer here. If you've never done this before and you are interested, I can give you the tools today. You can go back and watch it or listen to it on Transformation Talk Radio. You can go to our websites, transformationtalk.com or shadesofspirit.com, any way to see what I'm doing. But if you're listening to it, it will walk you through the process as well. But at the same time, when you pick up that first deck of cards and you go to open it, if you've never done any type of divining before, you have now opened yourself up to the spirit world. And I want you to be ready for that. And that is my disclaimer. This is your responsibility to do it safely and empowered. And it's my job to teach that to you. So let's get going here, right? So why do people do oracle cards, right? How it goes. People will say, I need some daily guidance. Cool. Pull your own card. Don't go to, and I'm not saying all the time, but I am saying it's more profound when you can pull your own card than if you are on constant search engines where people are doing a free card here and a free card there, or let me do this, or let me pick this one. Every so often it's fun to kind of see if it's in alignment with what you're doing, but how empowered would it be if you could just do it yourself? Right? How you would know you're connecting with your spirit team. You're going to feel it from the inside out. You're going to know this is the right direction. We may not want to face it. And that sometimes we go to other people. We may not want to face the fact that, hey, spirit is connecting with me and they're trying to take me to a different level, or they're trying to have me face some stuff in the past I need to work through. I'm just not going to really believe that. Maybe I'll go over here and they're going to pull a sunshine and unicorn card for me, and perfect, that's what I need today. But in reality, you needed to process and deal with the emotions behind what it is that you actually pulled with your team. Sometimes people are looking to see the bigger picture in their life. That's where a lot of us are at right now, looking for wisdom and direction from their spirit team, right? Bring in the advice, bring in the direction. I'm open. I want to hear it. It also is enables it, and got it. My spirit team's talking to me like, if you have you out there that have questions, so make sure you type them in. It gives us the power within to connect with our higher self, right? And when we connect with our higher self, that's when we really start to process. That's when we open up. So like I said, you can use oracle cards daily as a tool for validation, clarity. You know, if you've got questions, you can ask them. You can also use them for long-term planning and so much more. You guys, if you are pulling cards on a daily basis, throw in the chats. Patience with one another. Like, how's that working for you? Do you enjoy doing it? Do you find any hangups? Are there any questions you have in the process that you're doing? Also, if you're feeling a bit lost or disconnected with your spirit team or your higher self, pull a card, invite them in. It starts those spiritual zone, if you will, and it allows us to be in that space of connection. And that's so important for us to do, right? And if you're ready to divine in this way, know that you're going to get so much more as using it into a daily practice, right? Now, sometimes you guys may not. Okay, that's all right. May not want to do it daily or just can't find that time to do it daily. Well, then set a time. Sunday mornings when I go out for my coffee and I'm going to take my mindful walk, I'm going to pull a card before I do so to set up myself. Maybe you want to pull it on Monday and set yourself up for the week. Whatever that might be, that's personal to you. And that's why we say, you know, follow your instinct, follow that gut. What is it telling us down to connecting? When I pick out my decks, I like to do it in person, but I don't always do it in person. But when I first started working with cards, which was about 6 or 7 years ago, now I've been doing this a long time, but cards actually frustrated me. Why? Because if you look in some of these books, let's see, I don't know if the one in front of me has it. No, I'll find one when we're going through this today. They will give you diagrams. Okay, now this card goes here and this card goes over here, but you can do the 4 card spread over here. And then you can have this circle with one in the middle and 2 hanging out like donkey ears. Oh my God, I was so overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my, no, this is not for me. And so I had cards and yet I never used them. And one day in a reading, my spirit team came in and said, pick up the first deck you bought. And I'm like, okay. Now I would pull them for myself and they'd be accurate, but I wasn't comfortable moving forward in that. And so all of a sudden I picked it up and I started pulling cards, having them shuffle the deck, separate it. And then they were like, this is their past, their present, their future, or this is what they need to release and this is their intentions. And all of a sudden it started flowing for me. So I put a lot of pressure on myself thinking I had to do it by the book. And in reality, it's spirit. Nothing is set in stone. You do it the way that it works for you. Right? So when I go and do them and pick them out, I will go to Barnes and Noble. Any type of metaphysical shop generally has cards as well. And I first look at the fronts of them and I see what I'm drawn to. What card is calling me? What deck seems like it's got this fabulous energy that I need, right? And I will pick them up. Now, sometimes they'll have demos on the bottom, so they're open and you can use them. You can look at the cards, you can feel the of them, and sometimes they don't. Look at the back. I love to look at the pictures on the back of them. I like to connect with the art. The art also has meaning. The colors, right? Also, I want some that have just one word on them, especially if I'm doing Facebook Lives or YouTubes or readings to where I have a lot of information to give. But sometimes I want more thorough decks. I want decks that have more of that deep meaning behind them. And so I will kind of narrow down to a few and then I'll hold them. Yeah, this is if some of you have ever seen me in a store, I'm like this. And I'm feeling it. My eyes are closed and I'm connecting with it. And if it vibrates and it feels like it's an equal match for me, I stick it on this self. It takes a little bit of time until you start getting into the rhythm of energy and working with decks. Um, and then I'll have my yes and no's, and then I'll go back to the yeses. Sometimes I'll get both, sometimes I'll just get one. I will ask my spirit team to help me pick out the deck that I need, that my clients need, and that's how I pick them out. Now, once you get the hang of it, I order from Amazon as well, so don't think, oh my gosh, she only goes into shops. No, I use Amazon, but I didn't use Amazon for a long time because I wanted to connect personally with my decks, and I find that very important. But again, I got this deck, which I love, through Amazon, right? I knew that I wanted a deck like this. I did the research on it, I read the reviews, but with it for a moment and I connected with it to deck for me. So that's how I pick my decks, right? So that's first and foremost. If you have decks, go grab them while we go to break because you guys can do this with me, which I love. Let's make it interactive. You guys, I have Akashic Records class coming up. It's Connect with Your Blueprint, working in our past as well in the present moment and being able to move forward through our Akashic Records. Spirit Walker Nicole will be doing that with me. It is Saturday the 15th, so not this Saturday, it's the following Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. time. And then directly after that, I'm shooting up to Winchester to go to Sweetwater Farms to do another mystical tea party with spirit with celebrity chef Nicole LaShawn, the Luminous Mystic, Michelle Byler Klein, who runs the farm, does such a beautiful job of decorating it, and what's going to be live mess and a tea party in the afternoon for you guys. So those are a couple of my events coming up here in about a week and a half to 2 weeks. I still have a few, so you guys can sign up at Facebook or LLC, and I will see you guys right after this break. Welcome back to Eye of Soul Radio. I am Psychic Medium Jaime, here today discussing Oracle cards. Yay! I love Oracle cards. Okay, so we already went into how I pick out my cards. We talked about the importance of responsibility when using them or any divining tool. I mean, let's just be honest. Anything that you're using, I want you guys to make sure you are being responsible and that you are doing it. Now, you don't have to say, in love and light for my highest and best. You could just showed it out there for my highest and best. Find a phrase that works for you. But I always want to make sure that what I'm putting out is what I'm getting back. And I want it to be the highest possible vibrational message that I can receive. So that's why I use that in my little lingo when I'm connecting with my spirit team to do it for myself or for my clients. Now, we're going to do a one card pull. And I'm going to use the Ask an Angel book, which I love tremendously. I like this one for myself, along with a couple other ones that I have that I'll share with you as well, because these connect personally. So when it says Ask an Angel, I take that personally. And I'm like, yes, asking you for some guidance. So I pulled a couple for myself. And what happened was is that I pulled them and I always shuffle, right? But the first thing I have to do is clear the deck. And I want you guys to think about that. When these cards are made, right? They're manufactured, they have the energy of the author, of the illustrator, of the publisher, right? Of the people that put them together, that packaged them. Maybe it's the energy of somebody that put them on the shelves. Everything absorbs energy. And so what we want to do is clear this deck first. So you might see, if you've had readings in the past, me or someone else knocking on them, it's about the intention of, okay, in my head, I'm saying I'm clearing this deck for the highest and best of my client in front of me or myself. It's just quick. It's in my head. I'm still having dialogue with the person. Other people will sage them. I've also done that before. If I'm saging my room, I will sage through every single one of these cards I have out. I also have done selenite, where I've had selenite and I've stuck the deck on the selenite before. Maybe in the middle of a reading, I'll have my big selenite wand out and throw them on there. Just depends on how I want to clear them and what feels right at the moment. But you always want to clear your deck of the energy that doesn't suit you. So I pulled, for me, the Awakening card and the Hidden Worlds card. And both of these really resonate with me now, because ever since I got back from a nice little break and some work over in Maui, I have been a little bit different this week. And it's funny because I'm like, I feel like I'm still on island time. I'm slow. I'm kind of foggy still. Like I kind of want to just sleep a lot. And what I realized is that the Awakening Worlds are exactly where I'm at. It's about coming into some new energy. We walked different labyrinths. I had different connections. I brought in. I mean, it was a spiritual week. No wonder I'm drained emotionally. Not to mention, we have a new moon coming up on I think it's Tuesday. So that energy is kicking in. And the Hidden Worlds is just reminding me to tap into what I was getting and being in that moment. So for you guys, right, let's clear the deck, put those cards back, and then you shuffle them, right? And I also will, while I'm shuffling, say I'm going to clear this deck for the highest and best of, and I will say whatever the name is that I'm working with for the day. So let's just say we're going to clear this deck. I was asking in my head for the entire group, right? For all of us watching and listening. I'm asking them just to give me a open-ended card is kind of how I phrase it, right? For the universal consciousness. And you guys saw the way I shuffled it. This flipped over in my hand, and it's the joy card for us, right? So if I'm going to be pulling it for myself or even another person, right? I'm putting the intention out there. I'm clearing my deck. It's for the highest and best of that person. I'm shuffling my deck. I'm bringing the energy of whomever it is that I'm reading into the deck. And then I will allow what happens. Sometimes cards will fall on the floor. Sometimes it'll be a whole stack and one will be face up. Sometimes it will be that I can't get them all in, like I did for myself, and there was 2 out. And I'm like, well, I know these are the 2 I'm supposed to connect with today. For this one, you guys can go back and watch how I shuffled it. This one card flipped over between my fingers and was face up. That's how I know. And I check in, is this the right card? And I get the tingling in my body. So I know that it is, right? So with that being said, this is a great way to get a focal point for your day. And that's for all of us to celebrate in the joy of ourselves this week. It is about connecting on a higher level. It's about bringing joy to others. And in return, you get that energy back. So how many of you have experienced that inner gratitude, connecting with that joy vibration? Now, if you think about the Hawkins scale, and it's that energy from the consciousness to the subconsciousness, and it goes down from anger and grief down here, right? And it's all closed off. And then you get up to the top of enlightenment, joy, peace, love, and it's open and it expands out. That's the message that they're giving us today. And this is one that we can work with for the rest of the week into the weekend. Now, if you wanted to pull just one card for yourself, that's how I would take this card. The joy is for us to connect. It is for us to be in a space of love and light with, and it's for us to be able to move forward and raise our vibration as a collective, right? Because I asked for a collective card. So if we're going to do it, we're going to do a 1-card pull for ourselves. Clear it out. I don't want the group on there. Here we go. Shuffle. All right. We're shuffling our deck. And for me, I'm going to ask, okay, so I would like a card to finish off today and tonight with and to work on tomorrow, right? Because it's getting late in the afternoon. And I want 1 card. And my card is going to, because I have the Ask the Angel deck, I'm going to make it a little more specific. And I'm going to say, what area do I need to focus on in my family life? Okay, I've got 3 kids. It's a little bit hectic around here. I am divorced, right? I have, started my life over again, if you will, when it comes to that side of it. But I'm bringing my entire family. Mother's Day is coming up. We're going to have the family together, my parents, my aunt, my uncle. So what is it? What is it that I need to be focused on right now? Where do I need to be in that space with family? When I can't get them back in, as you saw, I now know that I have 2. Now, what I also do is I like to feel the energy of the cards. And this you guys can do. We all have chakra points in the palms of our hands, right? So we can say, all right, Spirit, guide me to which one. And you're going to get that magnetic pull, right? For me, if it feels kind of dead and there isn't a lot of energy going on, I know it's probably not the right one. And when I put my hand over the one that's vibrating like crazy and it makes me just tingle, I'm going to know that this is the card that I need for me. And it's the battle. Well, that sounds fun. Great. Okay, that's a good time. What do I need to know for my family right now? And I get the battle card. Come on. Come on, angels. What does it mean? There's always a message behind it. And that's when you go to your book, right? So I don't want you to get discouraged if for me, I'm thinking love and light. I just pulled the joy card for everyone. This is so awesome. Where do I need to be with my family? And I get a battle card. I don't want you to freak out and be like, oh my gosh, there's going to be some sort of argument on Mother's Day. I'm going to have a battle with my ex. No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's why they have these books. That's why they put the energy in the pages as well. I refer to books. I very rarely, as Spirit Walker Nicole does as well, read verbatim out of the book. My 12-year-old son is a very good card puller, and he can read it all out of the book, and it will make sense to me. My goal is to sit with your spirit team or a loved one that has pulled that card and have them highlight what it is that I need to be able to convey, and then further that message, not from the book. So I have the battle card, right? And it does talk about myths and heroes going into battle, or even battling through dangerous territory at sea. I start that conversation with a client and they're going to be like, what the hell, right? I don't want you to do that to yourself. I want you to keep reading it. I want you to go through. It says these stories represent the hero standing in the face of danger, ready to confront his or her shadow. Okay, got it. Now it's starting to come together for me. It says it also surrendering the higher state of consciousness and the expense of all ego attachments as pride, greed, and compulsion. Okay, letting my ego go, just sitting in the space with my family. I can do this. It says also, it may now be time for you to go on this journey. It says that it's the journey to face the shadow in order to bring the goods back to his or herself. So movement can be made in the next phase of life on an internal level. Yes, that makes complete sense for me. That's actually what I'm going through right now, feeling that stuck and drained energy, right? It says it is time to sacrifice your ego and fight for your highest truth with courage and integrity. So now I'm going to take this message and I'm really going to sit with it. And it continues on. It says, decide now where you want to be. What are you willing to fight for? What do you need to? Have you become disconnected or numb, lost in the mundane thought, TV, and routine? Well, it is absolutely time to wake up. This is a call to adventure. What are you going to fight for? So within my family life, it's standing in my own power and realizing where I want to be. Because if I'm not, I go into the shadow self and I go within and I become withdrawn. And then I'm not actually connected with my family at that moment. And this is reminding me, hey, be connected with your family this weekend. Make sure that time that you're having that one-on-one conversation with your mom, with your daughters, with your son, with your aunt celebrating her birthday, even though she doesn't have kids. We're like her kids, right? So be present, let go of the ego, let go of all the things that are going in there, get out of that mud, and remember that it's okay to have that inner battle because we always come out on top because we learn the lessons. So that is something that we have to really sit with, right? So they're not always going to be light and bright and fluffy with kittens, okay? It is going to be, what do I need to work on right now in order to have that ultimate family life that I've been craving and wanting for so long? It's to finish my own inner battle. Healing, letting go of the ego and pride, and just sit with the journey. So I just read myself. It's very hard for us to read ourselves. Psychically, yes, we can do that. We can get the pendulum out. We can work with those. Mediumship wise, not so much. It's a little bit tougher. But that I know what to do tonight in meditation and then to connect with tomorrow in order to make this weekend a very connected weekend for me and my family. So if you have any questions, throw them up there at break and I can get to them. Okay. Then we're going to go into a 2-card pull and how we go about doing that as well. So also, this May is really cool because a paint and sip with spirit, that is with psychic artist Ashley. Be working with your spirit and be doing readings from your paintings. That is at Winchester Farms in that Riverside County area. So if you're in San Diego, Riverside, Orange County, LA, or you're visiting, join us because you get to paint, little sipping, if you will, and then being able to connect with animals and really having a great afternoon. That is Sunday, the 23rd at 4 p.m. And then I have my Release and Intentions workshop back this month. It is Finding Your Path. That is only $15. That is through Zoom. It is on a Friday It is May 28th at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. You can book any of these and all of these on Shades of Spirit LLC Facebook, or give us a call or text at 858-684-7575. And I will see you right after this break. Hey everybody, welcome back to Eye of Soul Radio. I am Psychic Medium Jaime, and I'm just going to clap all day long. Spirit Walker Nicole, clappity clap clap. This is what happens when I don't have things to hold. I am such an animated person when I'm talking, if you guys haven't figured that out yet. And so I can't really use a green screen so well because I move so much that I look like I've got trails going on, and that's not cool. But we are talking about oracle cards today, okay? And how to kind of do this for yourself, check-ins, if you will. We just did the one card pull, right? We did a card pull for the universal consciousness for anybody out there that's listening, that will listen to the show at a different time. About joy, it's about connection, it's about bringing our vibration up, it's about that inner gratitude and doing something for somebody else and getting that energy back. And then we saw how I pull a one card pull for me on a specific topic, right? And I use the Ask Your deck. Now we're getting into a two card pull, right? And again, you're going to get different ways that people pull cards, from pulling them directly out of the book according to the pattern to ways that they connect their own spirit teams. I don't always use every single one of these in this way either, but this is how it works well for me when I'm doing individual card pulls. And if you find that all of a sudden, you know, you've got an urge to pull 3 instead of 2, or just 1, or maybe not pull that day, or maybe it isn't going to be past, present, and future. Maybe it's just going to be what I need to work on right now. What's my focus? Write these things down. I couldn't figure out for the longest time why I kept writing out a compass. Years on people's papers, compass, compass. When I finally started using cards and feeling comfortable, finally my guides during one reading said, why don't you go ahead and pull your cards according to your compass? And it was an aha moment for me, because they to get my attention through this compass, and it was the direction reading. They needed directional reading. They needed directional reading. And so we would get into some of the things they wanted to talk about, but not through the cards. And so when I started doing that, it all broke open for me, and it was like fair game for everything. So a 2-card pull, if we're going to do one for ourselves, I like to do what I call like a past, right, or a release, and the present, and that's the intention, right? I'm not looking for a future card in this. I'm just looking for, what are we releasing? What do I need to move out? And then what is on the horizon that I can start working towards? What are the intentions that I can start setting now to move forward? Right? So this is a very open-ended one. This is not one where I have to ask the question. I can just, again, I can set the intention for my highest and best. I would like to do a 2-card pull. I'm just kind of chatting with my spirit team in my head. I'm never saying this out loud. If you want to say it out loud, you absolutely can. It doesn't give it more power one way or another. But I'm going to ask, what is it out of my 2-card spread that I need to focus on kind of releasing and moving out in order to get to the present moment that I can set the intention for to work towards, right? That's it. You don't have to have a huge discussion. If you want to ask something else, a different way to phrase it, that's up to you, right? That's the joy of this. And so when I continue to shuffle, if nothing falls out after the first, then I just ask my spirit team to stop the card on top that I need to know. Where do I need to put this? And this is going to be my first card. This is my release. And I always get the chills when I know I'm connecting. So for me, it comes up my spine. For some of you, you might clairaudiently hear. You are using your claircognizance. That's another of the inner knowing when you're connecting with your higher self, right? I'm not necessarily using my clairvoyance because I'm not asking to see anything. I just want to be present in this moment. And then I'm going to ask the same for the second card. This is going to be my intentions. What's on the horizon for me? And then I'll feel the energy. And when I start to feel that zing and kind of run down my spine, I know that that's right. And I put the rest of the cards away. In your face deck, it's the Divine Energy Oracle, and I don't mind sharing decks that I use with you either, because I feel like it is important. If you guys have a lot of questions, people don't know what decks to use. If it resonates, if not, don't, and that's up to you. But now I have my 2 cards in front of me, right? My first card upside down is say no. So this is telling me, and I don't always go by upside down cards, But a lot of times my spirit team will check me in and say, this is upside down because your client needs to work on this a little bit more. They need to further their growth on it. They're getting there, but there's some barriers or some hangups in there. So showing me that this is upside down is a slap in my face because I am not very good at saying no. And it actually brings emotions up for me because I always want to be that pleaser, a people pleaser. I always have been. I don't want people to be upset. I don't want people to be angry with me. When I feel that it is unjust on different levels, it bothers me to a deep core level. But what I worked on, and this is validating it in Maui, was learning to say no, set my boundaries and my limits on my work hours, on my own time, in order to make room for what's up and coming in my personal life, my family life. And so the say no is what I need to start working on. I need to start letting go of that need to people please. And I need to start moving into that. I just can't do that today. Let's go ahead and book you. I've got an opening in 2 days at 1 o'clock. You know what? Most people are going to be like, okay, I totally get that. And I also feel like I have to explain myself to everybody. How many of you are like that? Holy shit, that is tiring. It drains me, right? So the say no is like, you don't have to do that. It takes work, and I'm going to get it to be upright. And I'm going to achieve that this month because that is on my release and intentions. That is one of my goals. So when I start saying no, what is the other card going to do? To move forward, it's choose friends wisely. And yes, we have all been burned by people in our lives, right? I mean, how many of you also have been affected by people, whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, family members? But in order to get where I'm going, and what happened when I was walking out of the labyrinth for the first one, which we're going to talk about on Shades of Spirit next week on Wednesday at 5 p.m., was that I was going to be making new connections because I am an empath as well, like everyone else, but very in tune with people's energy. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I also like to not cause a ruckus, if you will, because I don't like conflict. And so sometimes I have chosen the wrong people to be in alignment with me. It's not all negative, but I need to choose people very wisely right now who are in alignment with where my vibration is to continue my ascension. So when I'm doing that, I can then go into that energy with that person and I can complete what that intention is, right? So I have a few things out there that I'm working on. And I love the fact that I have chosen people to do this with and these projects with in order to continue the ascension process because their energy is moving that direction or can align me with people in that direction. And so that's just a gentle reminder of make sure you're checking in with yourself, that you're choosing the energy to work with, to be friends with, right? It's hard sometimes to be my friend. And I get that. For all of you that know me, I do shut down. I do. If I'm not feeling like I'm giving 110%, I'm hot or cold. So I'm learning how to let that go. And so for me, for my 2-card pull today, that's what this is telling me. It's telling me, let go. Get this say no to say no, like stand behind that energy. Finish creating the boundaries, finish creating your limits, and then choose the people that you are going to be moving forward with, both career and personal, wisely. Don't make some of the same mistakes you have where I give the benefit to the doubt. I just do, right? And I know that that drives some people crazy. And at the same time, I am learning my own value. And how many of you work with self-worth, right? And sometimes we have it and sometimes we don't. But I will devalue myself by moving into the energy of someone because I think I can help them. I'm also a fixer, right? And that's what right now needs to happen. No more of that, right? I need to go into that inner battle, like that 1-card pull I did in the last segment. And I need to be able to work through that energy, release the ego and the pride, and start stripping everything back so I can see clearly, so I can say no, so that I can start choosing the people to continue my ascension process with on all levels of my life, mind, body, and spirit, and continue that advancement. Does that start making sense to you guys? See how you start to weave a story within the card reading. And you will see very good psychics do card readings, seers, if you will, as well. Mediumship doesn't always come into play for card readings from my perspective for what I do. Now, once in a while, a loved one will come through and want to connect with a card and give a message behind it. And I love when that happens. I love being a medium for that reason as well. But this is using all of my psychic senses and my direct connection to my spirit team. And when I sit down and work with you, my client, I do a little mini session beforehand, and I connect with my spirit team and reach out to your spirit team. So we're already on an even playing field when we sit down. So the information coming in is actually from your spirit team filtering through these cards where your blueprint, your life path is. And that's what I can give you in those readings. I can just do oracle card readings for your 1 hour reading. I can do all sorts of things with these. I can help with direction. I can help with clarity. But that's also what you guys can do as well. You can bring a little bit of that into your life every day and to be able to gain it. Now, don't get frustrated. We all do from time to time. I don't know, Vicky, if you're watching, but I've had to put people on, just step back. And I don't have to put them on and they don't have to listen to me. But just part of her advance and growth was to step back a little bit and absorb what you know. So sometimes it might just be where you don't pick them up for weeks and all of a sudden you feel drawn like, I'm going to grab a deck of cards today while I'm cleaning. Okay, that's going to set that off again. Sometimes we just need that quiet time and that space for reflection and inner growth. So don't think you have to do it every day. There is no have tos again when it comes down to spirit, you guys. There really isn't. What's really cool right now is I'm still doing the $75 1 hour reading. Okay, you can go on shadesofspirit.com to book that. We can pull cards. For me, when I do these first readings, I connect with yourself, your spirit team, and any loved ones that want to come through with messages, and we just let it go. But if you have specific topics in mind, that's why we use certain cards. So you guys will see when you work with me on Reiki flow sessions, I will use one of 3 decks. That is the chakra deck, and it is also the self-love oracle deck. And then I have a heart deck that I work with. These are all energy chakra cards. I can move into that energy field. And I can also do, when I do my past life readings and Akashic readings, I have an actual Akashic Tarot deck. I have the Phoenix cards, which is a mind-blowing past life deck, and I can actually move into the energy with your spirit team's help into your past life to help be able to bring that energy through and to clear that out. Those are different price points. Go on the website, shadesofspirit.com, but I can do a 1 hour reading, which includes cards and connecting with your loved ones, and that's $75. All right, you guys, I just disappeared. I know that, Jacob. I hit a button. Anyway, I'm going to go to break. I will see you guys back after these messages and teach you the 3-card pull that you can do for yourself. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Eye of Soul Radio. I am psychic medium Jaime, and I am talking about oracle cards today and how you can pull them for yourself in order to get messages daily or weekly or monthly or however you want to organize that from your higher self, your spirit team, your angels, your loved ones. It is a form of divining, which means that some of you who have not done this before need to really center and anchor in. Make sure you're grounded, make sure that you call in your spirit team and that you do it for your highest and best. And I love to throw in love and light. When could I not use a little bit of love and light in my life, right? So that's what we're doing here today. Now, we've done the 1-card pull, the 2-card pull. The 1 card was kind of like, what do I need to know right now and I asked about my family. I could just pull a different deck and be like, what do I need to know right now for my day? And pull a card from that. I have a fabulous Peace Oracle deck. I have a Gaia Oracle deck. Those are great ones for connection on what do I need to know right now. Now, if I want a specific question, I have those ones as well. If I want to do Reiki, you saw the what did I call that? Self-love deck and my chakra deck along with a heart deck. If I'm going to go into Akashic records and past lives, I've got decks for those. I've got crystal decks. I mean, the decks that we have, we've got well over 100+ oracle decks. We don't use all of them all the time, but sometimes we'll pull out the oldies but goodies when we want to reconnect on that level, just as the energy that calls to us. So a 3-card pull, right? It's messages for from the universe or your spirit team. And what I also like to do is in that first card that I'm going to pull out of my 3-card spread, I'm going to actually ask my spirit team today to connect me on what energy I need to work through on a chakra. So what does the universe and my spirit team have for me that I need to work on for myself within my chakras, right? To be able to clear out. Now, if you're not into chakra work and you're not in, have Reiki available to you, what you can do is just ask, where do I need to clear this energy out, depending on what deck? And I'm actually using 3 different decks for this, right? So this is the fun part. The last 2, obviously 1 card was 1 deck. The 2-card pull was that same deck. But if you have multiple decks and you feel drawn to a different deck per question, absolutely go with it. It evolves your story even further, in my opinion. So I'm using the self-love deck. The second one is going to be what needs to be let go to move forward, right? So where am I at right now? What's my energy doing? What's the message from you? What do I need to work on? The second one is another release. What do I need to let go for moving forward? And I've picked an energy card, right? And then my third one is going to be, what is my focus? Well, I'm focusing on abundance right now, connecting with angels, focusing on abundance. Now, for some of you that saw, yes, this is a deck by Doreen Virtue and Grant Virtue. And you know what? Maybe their life paths have taken them different places, but the deck still actually resonates with me from time to time. I use it a lot for myself because the energy behind it is what was created in their space at that time. So you guys don't be afraid of using other people's decks if you don't totally feel in alignment with them. Feel the energy of the deck itself. I'm just going to throw that out there. So for the first card, again, message from the Universal Spirit Team. What do I need to really focus on for myself internally? What needs to be cleared out? I know I need to work on self-love. I know I need to bring that self-worth up even further than where, I've been doing. I know I've been making progress over the past few years. And the past year in itself has given me great opportunity to do so. So for the pandemic, I was able to do some inner work as well. So for me, they have decided the ritual grounding, it's the crown chakra, right? Now, I know these cards very well, so I don't have to go into my book to read it, but what I recommend you guys doing is sit with this card for a second, acknowledge it. I know that I need to work on grounding. When I can ground that root chakra, it connects me to the heavens, if you will, to my higher self. It opens up my crown chakra even more. The work that I do is so spiritual and so opening that I have to be that connected and grounded in order to move forward in that. So for me, I know that that's going to be my crown chakra. I need to connect more with my spirit team. I need to do more meditations, which is absolutely correct. That's what this card is going to tell me in the book. Sit down and meditate, work on grounding. That was a big thing in Maui, was getting into the water every day. It was touching my feet to the sand, absorbing the sun, working in all of the elements, and connection. And so that's validating that for me, which I love. I'm looking for validation and clarity in this. My second card is going to be what needs to be let go to move forward out of the energy deck. Clearing my deck, right? I don't care if you're the only one using your deck. Clear it after each use so it's not holding on to the energy of your last question, okay? Even if you use the same deck over and over again, when you do your second card pull, clear that deck. Remove that energy because your second card is a different question. See how that popped out? And it was face up. Door to personal healing and happiness. Sometimes you don't want to listen, and behind it is victory. How freaking cool is that? What needs to let go in order to move forward? The let go card is door to personal healing and happiness, which will bring victory. See how you tell the story in these cards. So if I'm going through this and I want to do this for my weekly, need to continue to ground, meditate, open up that crown chakra. I know that to release, I need to do some healing still. I need to tap into that happiness, and it's going to bring me to a place of victory, to oneness. And what my focus is going to be is abundance. Now, it doesn't have to only be financial abundance, right? It can come in many forms. Prosperity can come in many forms. I'm running out of room on my little table here to do this with. So I've cleared it, and I'm asking them, where do I need to put my focus now? Where do I need to put my focus for the next week, right? Let me work in a week at a time right here for these. And this is going to jump out at me. It's the right vibration. Organize for success. Do not let the word organize intimidate you, as it is simply a way for you to ensure clarity of purpose. Organizing your thoughts, your reports, your living and workspace, and your finances will help you know and plan your next action steps. So sometimes when they do that to me, then I just sit with that for a minute and I'm like, okay, spirit, that's great. I knew that. I'm a Virgo. Who doesn't like to be organized? That's a Virgo, right? And it's hard to do sometimes when you're living with others and you've got kids and you've got constant commotion. Well, this 3-card spread, message from the universe and the spirit team of what I need to work on within my own energy field, let go of, brings me to victory, which couldn't be any more positive, and then organizing for success, right? That's my focus right now. And that's exactly where I'm at. I took this week off, the second week on our break, if you will, from readings so that I could do that. Yesterday, I already felt overwhelmed. I had been back 2 days and I felt overwhelmed. What a crappy feeling that is, right? I'm just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I'm exhausted and I'm trying to recover from a vacation that was such a spiritual apart. And I guess I just figured I'd come back and bounce right back. Well, that's not the case sometimes. But this is laying the groundwork for me saying, okay, look, you need to face the inner demons. You need to let go of the ego and the pride. You need to face some of that shadow work from that first card pull. And then the second card and the third card just incorporated that. And then it brought me to this where it was ritual grounding, letting go, being able to heal, bringing happiness in and victory. And bring happiness in that raises vibration to get you victory. And then what I need to do right now is organize. I mean, they couldn't spell it out any more than that, right? And you never leave a card reading feeling like you're defeated. So as I finish up this little lecture and lesson, is that if you have cards, if you are drawn to cards that are darker in nature, which some of us are, like I was showing Jacob, I don't use the dark mirror cards for very many people. Sometimes when we really want to get into some shadow work and really face some of this energy, I will get these out. But I will never end with one of these cards. And I have multiple card decks that are a little bit heavier, if you will. I will always end in something lighter. I will end in an angel card. I will end in a fairy card. I will end in a spirit animal card. I will end in an abundance card. I want it to tell the story. So understanding the decks you're using is important because you want to make sure you're telling the story in the right order. If I'm going to use this card for myself, I'm going to pull it first. What do I need to let go of? I'm going to do it in a 2-card pull. Okay, I faced it. Great. Now, where do I need to move forward? Maybe I'm going to pull the energy deck. Maybe it's going to be the Angel's Abundance deck. Maybe it's going to be, any of the other numerous decks I have behind me, my shamanic deck of healing and growth, right? So also understand that part of it. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. You can book a session again at shadesofspirit.com. You can message us on Facebook, Shades of Spirit LLC. Go to YouTube and subscribe to see the Fierce Four in action. That is, our YouTube page is just Shades of Spirit. You guys, if you have any questions, feel free to throw it in the comments and I'll get to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next week at 5 p.m. Have a wonderful weekend and happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers. And to all of our caregivers and anybody and everybody that celebrates it, I want to wish you your best for Sunday as well. Thank you for listening in on Eye of Soul Radio on transformationtalkradio.com with me, Psychic Medium Jaime. Return here next time so you can explore more of the lower level energies, realms, or dimensions. We will go through more darker spirit stories and provide more guidance and self-growth to those who need it. For more information about me, Psychic Medium Jaime, and the Eye of Soul, visit eyeofsoulradio.com. That's eyeofsoulradio.com. Eye of Soul Radio only on transformationtalkradio.com. See you next time.